see on your cell phone or a laptop or on a TV screen whichever way you're watching. But truly it was wonderful. And since they are in your home, be prepared. Prabhu, call that lady over. So today we will be reading straight ahead from Valmiki Ramayana as well as from Srimad Bhagavatam, and we will also talking about what is coming next. So without further delay, let us chant Srila Prabhupada's most favorite bhajan, Jai Rama Nikunjbihari. So I sense something is missing on camera, so I will go there and I will try to fix it. Thank you. Sorry about that. It was not connected. That's why I had to rise and fix it. So let's chant Srila Prabhupada's favorite bhajan, Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Bihari. Gopijan Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijan Vallabha Girivardhari. Jashodanandan Vrajjan Ranjan. Jashodanandan Vrajjan Ranjan. Jamuna Tira Vanchari. Jamuna Tira Vanchari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prabhupada अष्टोत्तर शता भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसिद्धि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अंतर्द्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, समावेद भक्तवृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंद, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Om Ajnanamutimirindasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. नमो विष्णुपदा कृष्णवस्ता भूतरे शिवते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की। नमस्ते सरसदेव गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी विशेषनिवादी पाश्चात्यादेश धारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, here in this temple, whenever we have a class, let's say in the morning at 8 o'clock, we have Bhagavatam class, and in the evening we read Bhagavad Gita, and sometimes a special occasion like this, we read Ramayana, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. So, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is a kind of mantra that we chant in the beginning of the pravachan or the lecture. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam as well as from Valmiki Ramayana. Yesterday we saw that King Dashrath already decided for the coronation of Bhagavan Rama, and everybody were excited in city of Ayodhya. Now, as well we read the verses, the merits of the verses, and the rhythm or the melody of the verses will change a little bit. Sometimes, eventually, it will twist and take a very drastic direction. This is the Mahakavya, 24,000 verses. But from this point onwards, it's going to get sad and sad and sad. It's full of tears until the end. So before we jump into those gloomy portion of the Mahakavya or a poem, let's take little light moments and let's entertain ourselves, because next few days or rest of the days are going to be only sad news. So, what I was telling about, in order to make you smile a little bit before we cry, that this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is a very relaxing mantra. As I always read the translation of it, and it says, I meditate upon that pure and spotless Supreme Absolute Truth, who is free from suffering and death, and who is in beginning personally revealed to this incomparable torchlight of knowledge, to Lord Brahma. That is what it means, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. When we wake up the deities, that time 3:45 in the morning, the pujari is knocking the door here, right behind me, for the altar. And Utthaya Vishvijaya Chano Vishadam Madhavya Gira Panayata Purusha Purana. Uttishta Uttishta Govinda Uttishta Garvadvaja Uttishta Kamalakanta Trailokyam Mangalam Kuru. The pujari is praying, Radha Krishna, please wake up. And he walks into that room where Radha Govinda is sleeping. Curtains are closed here. And for about 45 minutes, the morning duties start. They have to brush their teeth and they have to accept this makhan misri, whatever is bhoga is offered by pujari. They have to dress properly, because 4:30 the curtains are going to open again. So, when we make them wake up in the morning, and when we put them after the Rajavog Aarti, that time also we have to chant Agaccha Shayana Sthane Sukhe Vihar Madhava and all that. So, those mantras are for make someone sleep. And in this temple, this particular mantra that we are talking about, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, according to my observation, it's a very effective mantra to make the devotees sleep. They have been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. They attend the Aarti, Mangala Aarti, they chant and dance and chant their subscribed rounds, Hare Krishna mantra, finish their mala, chant Shikshastak, offer Aarti to Tulsi Maharani. And when these curtains are open at 7:30, again there is a darshan, Govinda Madi Purusham. Then Srila Prabhupada's Aarti. After that, Kirtan, they come over here in this area. And the class, Bhagavatam class, starts. By that time, almost they have spent 4 hours in the temple room. And as soon as the speaker chants, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, everybody loudly speaks Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Then the speaker speaks another time, second time, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That time the voice is little softer. And by the time he speaks Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, everybody's neck is downward. They go to sleep. Because they know now the lecture is going to start. So this is little fun that sometimes I feel that Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is designed to make the devotees sleep. Now how to wake them up? So at the end of the lecture, they hear second mantra, which is designed to wake everybody up. And which is that mantra? Can you guess? Mahaprasade Govinde. As soon as they hear that, because right after the lecture, they have this prasadam, breakfast time. And as soon as Mahaprasade Govinde, Nam Brahmani Vaishnave, Svalpa Punyam Vatam Rajan, Vishwaso Naiva Jayate. So that time everybody wakes up. Not only in temple room, all the way when you climb these 5 stairs, 5 flights, and the main ashram and ladies ashram, and all that area wakes up all of a sudden because prasadam is being served. And after the relaxation, everybody is going to prasad and honor prasad. So this is just, I wanted to make you smile a little bit, that these are the mantras. This particular mantra, Mahaprasade Govinda, is taken from Mahabharata. And it says, the Narad Muni is talking to King Yudhishthira. And Narad Muni says, O king, for those who were amassed very few pious activities, almost none, their faith in Mahaprasad, in Sri Govinda, in holy name, and also in Vaishnava is never born. So this is again Narad Muni's observation. Most of the time there is plenty to perform pious activities, right? Giving charity, listening to Bhagavad Katha, doing fire sacrifice, doing some devotional service, helping others. But people are involved in a lot of mundane activities and they forget to perform the austerities and the activities which will give them some credit So what happens? Narad Muni is warning them that this kind of people will never have a chance to develop faith towards Mahaprasad. So even though you may be eating Mahaprasad all the time, but the results that's supposed to come may not give you 100%. The faith in Radha Govinda, yes, you may attend all the 6 aratis and come here from 4:30 in the morning all the way up to 8 o'clock arati. But still, it may not give you same results because you are lacking someplace. You don't have accumulated pious karmas. And then you may not have taste for the holy name. You may not have taste for Krishna's forms or Lord Rama's form and Rama's pastimes and his qualities. You may be listening, it's a different story, but it may not give you the same results. There is a classroom, and minimum I have heard 40 to 50 people can be accommodated in any class, all the way up to university. But one person is becoming a scientist, somebody becomes engineer, somebody becomes doctor, somebody quits, drop out, and somebody starts robbing. Why? It's the same teacher, same class, but the results are given differently. And that is why this particular verse is explaining that you must keep hearing pastimes of the Lord. You must keep hearing Ram Katha all the 9 days. That is a pious activity. And you will have an opportunity to serve Lord Krishna by hearing Shravan, Kirtan, Smarana, Bandhana, Pad Sevana, Dasya, Pujana, Sakijana, Atma Nivedana. So by listening, you accumulate pious activity. By chanting or doing kirtan, same results. By remembering Lord or by paying obeisances, by serving His lotus feet, to be a servant of Lord, by worshipping Lord, to consider Him friend, conjugal relationship, and to open the heart to the Supreme and express our gratitude and glorify Him. These are some of the ways that we can always please. It could be Krishna or Rama, whatever your katha you are listening. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham mrudi sannivisto matta smruti gnanam apoham cha Vedescha sarve rameva vedyo Vedanta krutveda videva chaham. Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart. And from me come remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am complete or complier of the Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. So through Vedas we are supposed to know the Supreme Lord. Through Rama Katha we are supposed to know the Supreme Lord. This reminds me, last time when I was in India, I visited one place which was at the bank of the river, and there was a nice temple. So when I saw the flag and the dome of the temple, I walked over there. And luckily, the Katha was going on. And Maharaj was quoting this particular verse that I just read. Sarvasya chaham rudi sannivishto Vedan krut videva chaham. So, somehow, in India when you go, people drink a lot of tea. And tea in my state is known as chai. So he was translating this particular verse that Krishna says that I am in everyone's heart in form of chai. Cha means chai. I'm a cup of tea in everyone's heart. And that's why I was explaining that that's why we love tea, because that's a form of Krishna. And we have to have that. And then he had a little coffee break. So sometimes, like people do not project properly. Now, interest in reading and listening to Rama Katha comes from whatever pious activities that you have. But somehow, at this moment, you are in front of the screen and you are listening to Rama Katha. Srila Prabhupada was very merciful. And he was very honest at the same time. He was a founder Acharya of this great movement of this age. International Society of Krishna Consciousness. But at the same time, he admitted and he says, so far as this age is concerned, so far as today is concerned, he says world needs more of Rama than Krishna. Actually, this is a Krishna conscious society. But Srila Prabhupada says, world needs Lord Rama. Because Krishna had 16,108 wives. Right? If you want to follow that pastime, is it possible for you to follow? No. But Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aayi. Prana jaye paru vachana na jaye. Speaking truth, Rama was doing. Can you do that? Of course. So easy. You don't have to lie. Just speak the truth. Very simple thing to follow, Lord Rama. So, Prabhupada mentioned that Ram Katha is actually very, very important, because we will never ever be able to lift Govardhan hill, right? But to follow what father says, to follow what mother says, follow the instructions of parents. Is it difficult to follow? No. We should be doing at any cost. That's our culture and our religion. Mata Pita Charana Kamalebhyo Noha. As soon as Dasharath Raja said, as soon as Mother Keikei said, without any hesitation, Ram packed up and left. It's not impossible to follow parents' instructions. Of course, this is a very different story. We cannot really directly compare, but our circumstances are much better than what we are talking. In short, to obey parents, that's a simple thing to do. So, this way, Srila Prabhupada encourages for this Rama Katha. As you observe this world, and the way Ram, Sita and Lakshmana went in the jungle, in the forest, and they also observed. And we have to open our eyes and observe those things. What is that? A cow is grazing grass. If you give some meat to cow, the cow won't eat. Cow's food, cow knows that I am supposed to eat grass. Cows always eat grass. But if you throw some grass at the lion, lion is not going to eat grass. Lion is going to eat meat. And lion knows my body is designed in such a way that I can digest meat. I will not eat grass, I will only eat meat. And little sparrow or any bird, they eat some seeds and grains and that kind of thing, right? But human being, their own mind, eating and drinking. Somebody just took me around the corner and spent $5 and said, you must drink this. I said, what is that? He says, they see the green grass. They said they crush it in a blender. They make a juice out of it. A little, very small spoonful of green juice of grass, $5. And I said, drink it. You may not like it, but it's good for body. So man have started eating and drinking grass. They always eat meat at the cost of the other animal world. And of course, whatever sparrow is eating in daily food, they always have the grain. So, the human being is actually, we are not designed so that we can digest meat or grass and the roots. But human being is so greedy that he will take it from cow, take it from lion, and will take it from sparrow also. So, this is very serious matter. And that is why the world war is only among man and woman. Wherever there is a humanity, or human culture, right? We have World War I and II and III and all that. But among animals, there is no any world war. Among birds, there is no any world war. So, that is why to know that my body has a limit, that word limit in Sanskrit is called Maryada. So Ramachandra knew, and that's why he called himself Maryada Purush. The sages address him as a Maryada Purush. When we know our limits, we can do and follow the Maryadas, right? Whatever disciplined way Rama was living his life within limits, we can always do that. And that's why Prabhupada say we need Rama in these days, because nobody is following the regulative principles. Regulative principles are designed so that we can discipline ourselves. No meat eating, no drinking, no illicit sex, no gambling, right? But people always are involved in doing that. So that's why it's very important to hear all about Rama. First of all, when you hear Rama Katha, the first thing required, even in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it said, Ado Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Atha Bhajan Kriya Tato Anartha Nivrutti Syat Tato Nishtha Ruchis Tatah Atha Asakti Tato Bhavas Tatah Prem Abhyundachiti Sadhaka Namayam Premna Pradurbhave Bhavet Kramaha. So, first of all, you have to have Shraddha or a faith. Then comes association of devotee. Then you may get initiated and you begin doing devotional service. This way there will be freedom from the material desires and steadiness in self-control. Then you become steady and you control yourself and cultivate taste for hearing. Then this Rama Katha will be little tasteful for you. And end result will be love for the Godhead. Achieve prema and perfection. So that is what the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion, is telling us. Shraddha. You must have faith. We had, just like Srila Prabhupada, Madhvacharya was a Dharma Samsthapaka, founder of a religion, or a cult, or sampradaya, whatever you call. And he had a 100% faith in Rama and Krishna. So what he did, that made a lot of devotees, and he was spreading the religion just like Srila Prabhupada. Somebody got very envious, jealous at Madhvacharya. And he observed his activities, his whereabouts, where he is going, what time he is going, and all that. And Madhvacharya would visit the temple, and then he will go to the table near where there is a Charanamrita and Panchamrita and all that. So, little Mahaprasad, whatever. So, somebody who didn't like him, he noted down his timing and put poison in it so that he may die. Afterwards, Madhvacharya came, offered the obeisances, walked up to that table, and took that Charanamrita in the hand. And as soon as he was about to drink, somebody he knew that somebody is trying to poison Madhvacharya. He ran and he hold his hand and said, Prabhu, Maharaj, please, please throw that away. Don't drink. And Madhvacharya says, why? He says, there is some plot. Somebody is trying to kill you. They want to poison you. Trust me. There is a poison in this one. And if you drink, we will lose you instantly. So this person is not supposed to reveal all that. But somehow he was a part of that group, and when he saw Madhvacharya, he was full of sorrow and he felt guilty about it and tried to stop Madhvacharya. But Madhvacharya still had that Charanamrita with the poison in his hand. And he said, let me ask you a question. The water or the milk, yogurt, clarified butter, sugar, honey, tulsi patra, which washed the feet, the lotus feet of Krishna, that Charanamrita is more stronger than a poison, or poison is more stronger than Charanamrita? Tell me what? My Shraddha, my faith is that Akala Mrityu Haranam Sarvavyadhi Vinashanam Vishnu Padakam Pitva Jatare Dharyamyam. The Charanamrita, Padokam, right? Pad means the lotus feet of Lord. So, this is a liquid which is the result of washing or doing abhishek of the Lord. And I believe that that's the strongest possible Mahaprasad available. Poison is nothing. Even if it is mixed in it, I understand. But I'm ready to die just to test which is stronger. Is it Charanamrita or is it poison? And instantly he drank and nothing happened to him. The whole group who was trying to kill Madhvacharya, they were just stunned. What didn't kill him? What was the thing that helped him in living the rest of the life, even though he was poisoned? Why? His faith. His faith was unshakable. That no, Rakhe Krishna Mare Kaun, Mare Krishna Rakhe Kaun. He says, no, no way. No one can kill me. And what's the poison? Nothing. Same thing happened with Meera. She was told that we are giving you poison and you must drink it. She says, definitely. I need to drink, I need to eat, and I always do that, but not without offering. So he put that ball of poison in front of lotus feet of Krishna and offered, and she survived. So that's the kind of faith that you must have it. We are talking about Ramachandra ji, and we have not ever sung any kind of song or bhajan for Lord Rama. This is the fourth day already. We are almost halfway. So let us sing the glories of Lord Rama. Shri Ramachandra Krupal Bhaj Manu Haran Bhava Bhaya Darunam. Shri Ramachandra Krupal Bhaj Manu Haran Bhava Bhaya Darunam. Navkanjalochan कंजमुख कर कंजपद कंजारुणम नव कंजलोचन कंजमुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम कंदर्प अगणित अमित छबिनव नील नीरज सुंदरम पटुपीतमानहु तड़ित रुचि सुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम श्री रामचंद्र कृपाळु भजुमनु हरण भव भयदारुणम् शिरमुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारुदार अंग विभूषण आजानुभुज शर चाप धर संग्राम जित कर दूषणं श्री रामचंद्र कृपाळु भज मनु हरण भव भयदारुणम् भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश निकंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम श्री रामचंद्र कृपाळु भज मनु हरण भव भयदारुणम् इति वदत तुलसी दास शंकर शेष मुनि मन रंजनम मम हृदय कंज निवास कुरु कामादि खलदल गंजनम श्री रामचंद्र कृपाळु भज मनु हरण भव भयदारुणम् नव कंजलोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम्. This is a very famous song. Every time there is some Rama Katha, they always sing this one. Beautiful meaning also. Lord Rama is the most merciful and benevolent, who removes the fear and miseries of this mundane world. He is immensely handsome like Cupid, crown over his head, earrings, tilak, armed with bow and arrow. Let us worship Lord Rama, the benefactor of the helpless, the destroyer of the demons, the bountiful and source of joy. Let Lord Rama reside in our hearts, who is destroyer of all the evils. He is the one who destroys anything that is evil. Ram, sometimes I speak Rama because Hare Krishna, or the one movement we sometimes say, oh, this is Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, or Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. So sometimes I do not pronounce properly, but he's Ram all with them. But sometimes in this country people also pronounce him as a Rama. So excuse me, you have to excuse me for that. So one time, Lord Rama was asking Hanuman, Hanuman, can I ask you one question? Yes. He says, what is your position? Do you have any position? Vibhishan, brother of Ravana, after I killed him, I gave him Lanka. He is Lankeshwar. The golden city of Lanka belongs to him, and he is a king. He has a great position of a king, a royal position. He says, your friend Sugriva, when we left, I made him the king of Kishkinda, where we used to just run around looking for Sita. He is the king of that whole forest, Kishkinda. Even though he is a monkey, he is a king among monkeys. He is honored as a king. And look at me. Now, when we came back to Ayodhya, there was a coronation. They put the crown on my head, and I'm a king of Ayodhya. Everybody has a position. Do you have any position? Lord Hanuman says, yes. So in Sanskrit, like we say Prabhupada, that Pad word has two meanings. One meaning is foot, and the second meaning is position. So if you are a king or a president of the temple, that's a position, of course, yes. But the ordinary pujari who is worshipping Radha Govinda, he is holding both the feet, lotus feet of Krishna, and is a servant, and that time he has both the path. So he says, you guys have only one position, whereas a servant of Lord, I have two paths, which are your lotus feet. I have two positions. Sometimes Krishna is putting his left foot horizontally on the ground, the right foot put like a vertical, crooked way, right? So one time, like if you take it away one foot, I still have another foot. And if you take another foot, I go and grab the first foot. So I'm never out of position, he says. You have only one path. I got both the paths, both the lotus feet. I have right to serve you. So this way, we have to learn that throughout the Ramayana, although Hanuman was not an ordinary what you call person. There were lot of pastimes about him. They say in scripture that on the earth or in the forest when you go and collect 1,000 elephants. How many? 1,000 elephants. One elephant has a lot of strength. If you multiply that strength into 1,000, 1,000 elephants' strength equal to strength of Airavat. Only one elephant which Indra is riding. That Airavat elephant has a strength of 1,000 elephants on the earth. And 1,000 Airavat, those Indra's elephant has whatever strength they have, that is the strength of his weapon, Vajra. Vajra is very powerful. And how powerful? 1,000 elephants on earth multiplied by 1,000, which gives strength of Airavat, and then again you multiply by 1,000, that's the strength of Vajra. And then that Vajra is in hands of Indra. So whatever power or the strength of Vajra is there, when you multiply by 1,000, 1,000 of those kind of weapons, Vajra, equals strength of Indra. Imagine, he is not ordinary demigod, he is a king of demigods, and that's his strength. And Ramayana says, 1,000 of such Indras, whatever strength is, when you multiply by 1,000, that is the strength of Hanuman Dada. So he is the strongest of all. So, all these pastimes that we will be reading based on Srimad Bhagavatam. So now, the next verse after the last verse that we read is like this. Gurvarte tyaktya rajo vyacharadanovanam padma padbhabhyam priyaya pani sparsha khamabhyam mrujita patharujo yo haridranujabhyam vairupyashurpan kya priyavirarusha ropita brujvijanam trastabdibaddhasetu khaldavadahanam kosalendro vatanna. So, the translation by Srila Prabhupada for this verse is, to keep the promise of his father intact, Lord Ramachandra immediately gave up the position of the king and, accompanied by his wife, Mother Sita, wandered from one forest to another on his lotus feet, which were so delicate that they were unable to bear even the touch of Sita's palms. The Lord was also accompanied by Hanuman or by another monkey, Sugriva, king of the monkeys, and by his own younger brother, Lord Lakshmana, both of whom gave him relief from the fatigue of wandering in the forest. Having cut off the nose and ears of Shurpankha, thus disfiguring her, the Lord was separated from Mother Sita. He therefore became angry, moving with eyebrows and thus frightening the ocean, who then allowed the Lord to construct a bridge to cross the ocean. Subsequently, The Lord entered the kingdom of Ravana to kill him like a fierce or fire devouring a forest. May the Supreme Lord Ramachandra give us all protection. So just one instruction that those who are home and watching Shri Radha Govinda Aarti, just follow the pujari, and if you have incense, you can offer Shri Radha again, because they are in your hands now, in your palm, in your cell phone or on a laptop, right? You can see them. And then try to offer incense or ghee lamp if you have, or mentally also you can offer the arti. At the same time you can hear what I am reading right now. So the next verse, Sri Prabhupada gives in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishwamitra dvareyena Marichadya nishachara Pashyato lakshmana saiva Hatanirtu pungava. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. In the arena of sacrifice performed by Vishwamitra, Lord Ramachandra, king of Ayodhya, killed many demons, Rakshasas, and uncivilized man who wander at night in mode of darkness. May Lord Ramachandra, who killed these demons in the presence of Lakshmana, be kind enough to give us protection. So this is again when we are chanting this kind of mantras, it becomes a kavach, a bulletproof vest that Yamaraja or the death personification cannot even come and get you. So this is very auspicious reading and auspicious shravan or listening also. So next verse is Yo lokavira samito dhanureshamugram Sita swayambar gruhe trishatopanitam Adaya bala gajalila ivekshuyastim Sanjayi krutam rupa vikrushubajamadyen Jitvanurupa gunashila vayongarupam Sitamidham shriyamurasya bilabdhamanam Marge vrajan bhrugupateyan rasprarudam Darpam mahima krutaya sri rajabijam. Translation by His Divine Grace. O King, the pastimes of the Lord Ramachandra were wonderful, like those of a baby elephant. In the assembly where Mother Sita was to choose her husband, in the midst of heroes of this world, he broke the bow belonged to Lord Shiva. This bow was so heavy that it carried by 300 men. But Lord Ramachandra bent and strung it and broke it in the middle, just as a baby elephant breaks a stick of sugar cane. Thus the Lord achieved the hand of Mother Sita, who was equally as endowed with transcendental qualities of form, beauty, behavior, age, and nature. Indeed, she was the goddess of fortune who constantly raced on the chest of the Lord. While returning from Sita's home, after gaining her at the assembly of competitors, Lord Ramchandra met Parshuram. Although Parshuram was very proud, having read the earth of the royal order 21 times, he was defeated by Lord, who appeared to be a Kshatriya of the royal order. Yah satya pasha parivita pitu nidesham strenasya chapi shirasa jagruhe sabharyam rajyam shriyam pranayina surido nivasam tyaktva yovanamasuni vamukta sangha. Translation. Carrying out the order of his father, who was bound by promise to his wife, Lord Ramchandra left behind his kingdom, opulence, friends, well-wishers, residents, and everything else. Just as the liberated soul gives up his life and went to the forest with Sita. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Maharaja Dashrath had 3 wives. One of them, Kaikeyi, served him very pleasingly, and he therefore wanted to give her a benediction. Kaikeyi, however, said that she would ask for the benediction when it was necessary. At the time of coronation of Prince Ramachandra, Kaikeyi requested her husband to enthrone her son Bharata and send Ramchandra to forest. Maharaja Dashrath, being bound by his promise, ordered Ramchandra to go to the forest according to dictation of his beloved. And the Lord, as an obedient son, accepted the order immediately. He left everything without hesitation, just as a liberated soul or a great yogi gives up his life without material attraction. Rakshasva surya kruta rupam ashuddha buddhem stasya karatridushana mukhya bandhun Jagne Chaturdasha Sastram Paraniyam Kodand Pani Ratman Uvasa Krucham. While wandering in the forest, where he accepted a life of hardship, carrying his inconceivable bow and arrow in his hand, Lord Ramchandra deformed Ravana's sister, who was polluted with lusty desires, by cutting off her nose and ears. He also killed her 14,000 Rakshasa friends, headed by Khara, Trishara, and Dushana. Sita Katha Shravana Deepatiruch Cheyan Srustim Vilokan Rupate Dashakandarena Janged Putaina Vapushashramato Pakrusto Marichimashu Vishikena Yata Kumagra. O King Parikshit, when Ravana, who had 10 hairs on his shoulders, heard about beautiful and attractive features of Sita, his mind was agitated by lusty desires, and he went to kidnap her. To distract Lord Ramchandra from his ashrama, Ravana sent Maricha in the form of golden deer. And when Lord Ramchandra saw that wonderful deer, he left his residence and followed it, and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiva kills Daksha. Rakshodame Navrukavad Vipinaya Samaksham Vedeha Raja Duhitarya Payapitayam Bhratavane Krupanavat Priyaya Viyuktam Stri Sanginam Gatimiti Prathayam Chakara. When Ramachandra entered the forest and Lakshmana was also absent, the worst of the Rakshasa, Ravana, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of king of Videha. Just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent, then Lord Ramachandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshmana, as if very much distressed due to separation from his wife. Thus he showed by his personal example the condition of a person attached to a woman. Now Srila Prabhupada is giving a beautiful purport here. In this verse, the words Stri Sanginam Gatim Hi indicate that the condition of a person attached to woman was shown by the Lord Himself. According to moral instructions, Gruhe Narim Vivarjatet. When one goes on the tour, one should not bring his wife. Formerly, men used to travel without conveyances. But still, as far as possible, when one leaves home, one should not take his wife with him, especially if one is in such a condition as Lord Ramachandra, when banished by order of his father, whether in the forest or at home. If one is attached to woman, this attachment is always troublesome, as shown by Supreme Personality of Godhead by his personal example. Of course, this is the material side of Stri Sangi. But the situation of Ramachandra is spiritual, for he does not belong to material world. Narayana Paro Avyaktata. Narayana is beyond this material creation, because he is creator of material world. He is not subject to the condition of the material world. The separation of Lord Ramachandra from Sita is spiritually understood as Vipralamba, which is an activity of the Ladini potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead, belonging to Shringar Rasa, the mallow of conjugal love in spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has all the dealings of love, displaying the symptoms called Sattvika, Sanchari, Ulapa, Murcha and Unmada. Thus, when Lord Ramachandra was separated from Sita, all the spiritual symptoms were manifested. The Lord is neither impersonal nor impotent. Rather, He is Satchidananda Vigraha, the eternal form of the knowledge and bliss. Thus, He has all the symptoms of spiritual bliss. Feeling separation from one's beloved is also an item of spiritual bliss. As explained by Srila Swarupa Damodar Goswami, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikraya Ladhini Shakti. The dealings of Lord or love between Radha and Krishna are displayed as the pleasure potency of Lord. The Lord is the original source of the pleasure, the reservoir of the pleasure. Lord Ramachandra therefore manifested the truth both spiritually and materially. Materially, those who are attached to woman suffer, but spiritually, when there are feelings of separation between Lord and His pleasure potency, the spiritual bliss of the Lord increases. This is further explained in Bhagavad Gita. So, Srila Prabhupada is so kind enough to give us all the explanations related to Rama. So what does it say in Bhagavad Gita? In chapter 9, 11, chapter 9, verse number 11, it says, Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanu mashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. It says that one who does not know the spiritual potency of Supreme Personality Godhead thinks of the Lord as an ordinary human being. But the Lord's mind, intelligence and senses can never be affected by material conditions. This fact is further explained in the Skanda Purana as quoted by Madhvacharya. So in the Skanda Purana, it says that Nityapurna Sukha Gnanam Swarupo Soyato Vibhu Atasya Rama Ityakya Tasya Dukham Kuton Vapi Tathapi Lokashikshartham Adukha Dukhavartivat Antarhitam Lokadrastya Sitamasita Smaranniva Gnapanartham Punarnitya Samandasvatmana Shriya Ayodhyaya vinirgachan sarvalokasya chishvara pratyaksham tu shriya sardam jagamanadiravyaya nakshatramasa ganitam Trayodashastrakam Brahmaloka samam chakre Samastam kshitimandalam Ramo Ramo Ramaiti Sarvesham bhavadattada Sarvo Ramamayo Loko Yadara Svatupalaya Brahmaloka Samam Chakre Samastam Khitimandalam. We often hear Siya Ramamaya Saba Jagajana. So here in Skanda Purana is same thing. Sarvo Ramamayo Loko means whatever you see in this material world with your naked eyes, everything, anything, it's all nothing but Lord Rama. And that's what's also explaining Srimad Bhagavatam. That Lord Krishna one day thought that I am lonely and only, and I would like to be many. And that's why he became you, he became you, he became me, he became he, he became she. Anything that you see around is nothing but Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada explains, it was actually impossible for Ravana to take away Sita. The form of Sita taken by Ravana was an illusory representation of Mother Sita, Maya Sita. When Sita was tested in the fire, this Maya Sita was burned and the real Sita came out of the fire. A further understanding to be derived from this example is that a woman, however powerful she may be in the material world, must be given protection. For as soon as she is unprotected, she will be exploited by Rakshasas like Ravana. Here the words Videharaja Duhitari indicates that before Mother Sita was married to Lord Ramchandra, she was protected by her father Videharaja. And when she was married, she was protected by her husband. Therefore, the conclusion is that a woman should always be protected. So, Srila Prabhupada says, Lord Janakaraja, right, he protected her before marriage. And as soon as he handed over Mother Sita to Lord Ramchandra, now Ramchandra started protecting him. So, there is no scope for a woman's being independent. Akshamam, for a woman cannot protect herself independently. Next verse. Dagdatma krutya hata krutyamahanka bandham sakhyam vidaya kapimirdaita gatim te buddhadvata valinihati pungendra sainyam velagugata samujocha bhavarchityak. Lord Ramchandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, had assumed the form of human being. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed the demon naked Kabandh, and after making friends with the monkey chiefs, killing Vali and arranging for deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to beach of the ocean. Purport by His Divine Grace. When Ravana kidnapped Sita, he was obstructed on the way by Jatayu, a large bird. But the powerful Ravana defeated Jatayu in the fight and cut his wings. When Ramchandra was searching for Sita, he found Jatayu almost dead and was informed that Sita has been carried off by Ravana. When Jatayu died, Lord Ramchandra did the duty of a son by performing the funeral ceremony, and then he made friends with monkeys to deliver Sita Devi. So, we have been reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. The Aarti is finished, and I hope people who are watching home had a chance to offer the incense, the ghee lamp, a little water or hanky, flowers or flower petals, chamar. And if you are conch shell, you can also blow the conch shell. And this way, we finish the Aarti. I wanted to make up for the loss of time that we often lose now and then. So I kept reading during Aarti. But one formality, very, very important, we are all looking for protection. And so far as Lord Narasimha is concerned, he is right in front of me. And as a tradition, we have to sing Narasimha prayer. So I'll be chanting Narasimha prayer. And then eventually we'll come back to Rama Katha or Srimad Bhagavatam. Namaste Narasimhaya. Good, good. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Lad Dain. Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha. Shilatankan Khala. Ito Narasimha Parito Narasimha. Yato yato mitato Narasimha. Bahir Narasimha Hridaya Narasimha. Narasimham Gadim Sharanam Prapadye. Tav Kar Kamal Vare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavadritam Narhari Rupa Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare. तव कर कमल वरे नखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दालिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Nrsingadev, 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 Jaya Nrsingadev, Jaya Nrsingadev, 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 Jaya Nrsingadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupada Paramahans Parivrajacharya Stotra Siddha Bhakti Vedant Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai, प्रेम से कहो श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवश्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, अंतर्द्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, समावेत भक्त वृंद की जय, गौ प्रेमानंदे, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki, Shri Ram Sita Lakshmana Hanuman ki. So, yesterday when we were looking at the Valmiki Ramayana, we saw that Dasharatha Raja had already decided his mind to give his throne to Lord Ramachandra. At the time of Kaikeyi's marriage to Maharaja Dasharath, her father Ashwapati, the king of Kaikeyi, had given her a hunchbacked maid servant named Manthara. So Kaikeyi's father Ashwapati had given Manthara a maid servant along with the daughter Kaikeyi, and she was hunchbacked. Manthara was actually an Apsara who had been deputed by demigods to assist in killing of Ravana. The evening before Ram's planned coronation, Manthara went onto the roof of the palace. From there she could see the splendidly decorated city crowned with people in a festival mood. Surprised to see this, Manthara inquired from Rama's former nurse, who was standing nearby, "What is the occasion that warrants such a grand celebration? Why do I see Kaushalya in such a joyful mood, lavishly giving charity to the Brahmanas?" The nurse cheerfully replied, "Haven't you heard? Tomorrow the constellation Pushya will be in the ascendant. Taking advantage of this auspicious time, Maharaja Dasharath is going to install Rama as his successor." So, as you know, the day before, as soon as Dasharath Raja is seeing only two hair growing grey, and he considers as a warning sign that I am getting old and I must put a younger generation in charge of this Ayodhya city and enthrone Ramachandra. Next to him was Vasishtha Muni. And he asked Vasishtha Muni that, "Muni, you know everything. And you also know the auspicious time and inauspicious time. So will you please tell me what is the auspicious time to put my son Ramachandra on this golden throne? I want to make him a king. Tell me the proper time, right time, most auspicious time." Ramayana says, Vasishtha Muni said, "Tadeva lagnam sudinam tadeva tarabalam chandrabalam tadeva vidyavalam devabalam tadeva lakshmi pate tengrugyam smarami." He says, "O king, you should not ask this kind of question. So far as Ram is concerned, his coronation is concerned, some auspicious event in this Ikshvaku family is concerned, we don't look for an auspicious time. Every moment is auspicious. So do it now, do it today." But Dasharath Raja says, "Let's wait till the Pushya Nakshatra, the constellation called Push, rise in the sky, because I think that is a proper time." Now he has a consultation. The Guru is there. And that is teaching us what should be doing. We are neck-bid, right? The Guru is giving us initiation. In front of the fire sacrifice, we are taking all kind of oaths and try to follow instructions of Guru. And when we ask him a question, and when Guru is suggesting, when Guru is instructing something, we think other way. We turn our face this way and say, I think what you say is good, but what I say is even better. So let's not go on your way, Gurudev, but let's do it tomorrow. Lot of commentators on Ramayana says that it was done like day before. This would never have happened. Tadeva lagnam sudinam tadeva tara balam chandra balam tadeva vidya balam dev balam tadeva lakshmi pate tengrugam smarami. 33 crores of demigods. They are all with you. There is no doubt about it. And so far as Ram is concerned, and you know, he is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you think we should wait? But Dasharatha Raja wanted to wait. And in those 12 hours, lot of things happened. Lot of things happen. Mantra went up the roof and she sees lights everywhere in the city. Lot of excitement. Mother Kaushalya is standing with a big plate, lot of jewelry, money, and just whoever comes, she gives. There is a mention in Ramayana that every 8 seconds, human mind is changing its focus. I'm looking here, but I can only see it for 8 seconds, maximum. Some people are more chapel, right? They cannot even focus that much. So it's less than 8 seconds, but maximum. Person like Karna, he was even warned in Mahabharata that whatever you decide, do it at that moment. Because after 8 seconds, your mind will change. You will throw away whatever you have decided. You won't be able to stick to your decision. 8 seconds in Kali Yuga. Karna was giving a charity, and something he was doing with the right hand, maybe writing or and line was there. Somebody extended the hand to get the charity, and he just picked up something from the plate. There was a huge, big diamond ring, and he gave it with the left hand. And the person who received the charity, he says, Karna, I wish you had given me the charity with your right hand. And in Mahabharata, as story goes, Karna says, I'm sorry, but I have gone through this thing. Last time, I tried to take something from my left hand, tried to put it in my right hand, and before I give, 8 seconds were over and I changed my mind. Oh my God, this is a real diamond, very most expensive ring. I may give it to somebody else. I don't think this guy deserves. He doesn't have even proper clothing. Maybe we should give him a pitambar and upavastra and something to cover his head and some prasadam, but not this ring. So he says, I have gone through this thing. Within 8 seconds before left hand thing goes to right hand and it goes to you, he says, mind can be changed. That's why I don't want to wait. Whatever comes in my hand, I give. Right or left hand matters to you, doesn't matter to me. I give donation and charity with both hands. So, they didn't do it day before, and now they waited for the auspicious constellation. This unexpected news deeply pierced Mantra's envious heart when he heard that from tomorrow Rama will be pronounced king of Ayodhya. She got very jealous and envious. Suspecting foul play on the part of the king, she excited approached Kaikeyi. When she entered her mistress's room, Mantra was surprised to see her peacefully lounging on her couch. With an agitated voice, Mantra said, "Get up, you fool! Don't you see the flood of disaster about to engulf you? Are you so deluded by your husband's sweet words that you don't understand what is happening right now before your eyes?" Kaikeyi was shocked by these harsh words. She asked, "What is the matter? What are you talking about?" This innocent inquiries further inflamed Mantra's anger. Although a maid servant, she was a master of the art of speech, cleverly speaking in such a way as to cause dejection to enter Kaikeyi's heart, and estrangement from Rama. Mantra replied, "Don't you know that your husband is going to install Rama as his successor? Can't you see his deceit? Dasharatha speaks to you, but at the same time he sent away Bharata so he could freely crown his pet son Rama. If Ram becomes the emperor, you will find yourself drowning in an ocean of suffering, and your beloved son will also meet with ruin." O Kaikeyi, not only your son, but I too completely depend on you. Your fortune is my fortune, and your misfortune is also mine. Please do something before it is too late. I beg you to quickly act to save yourself and your son. Astonished, Kaikeyi said, "My dear Mantra, I am overjoyed to hear about Ram's installation. I don't make any distinction between my son Bharat and Kaushalya's son Rama. Because you are the first to deliver such wonderful news, I will give you this magnificent jewel, and you can ask for whatever else you may desire." Saying this, Kaikeyi placed a priceless jewel in Mantra's hands. However, the maid servant disdainfully threw it aside and replied with great indignation, "I am shocked to see your joy on the eve of great disaster. The king's passing over Bharat is a terrible insult to you. You always thought that you were Dasharath's darling, but now Kaushalya's turned out to be one he really adores. Don't you feel humiliated? You say that you are happy, but after Ram's coronation, Kaushalya's wills prosper, not you. Oh no, you will be forced to act just like her maid servant, and Bharat will become Ram's slave. Resenting the hunchback bleak picture of future, Kaikeyi said, "O Manthara, how can you say this? Rama is the most generous person and his character is adorned with every virtue. He is the eldest prince and so he deserves to become the king after my husband's retirement. Besides, I am confident that after ruling for some years, Rama will gladly hand over the kingdom to Bharat. I have no doubts about Ram's motives because he serves me more carefully than he does his own mother. I consider Ram to be more glorious than my own son. What is the difference whether Ram sits on the throne or Bharat? Rama treats all the brothers as his own self." Hearing this, Manthara's anguish became even more aggravated. She shouted, "Stupid! Ram will never hand over the kingdom to Bharat. He will give it to his own future son. In fact, after becoming the king, Ram will no doubt exile Bharat or even kill him. With Bharat gone, Ram will be able to rule without a rival. O Kaikeyi, I am trying to bring you to your senses. But you take your co-wife's victory to be a cause of happiness. Can't you understand that Kaushalya is your rival and that Bharat's future is at stake? Rama's mother hates you because you are young and beautiful, and this makes the king more attached to you than to her. My advice is that you quickly act to somehow have Ram exiled to the forest so Bharat can be installed on the throne." Gradually, Manthara's hateful words poisoned Kaikeyi's heart. She had always cherished the idea of her son becoming the king, and deep down she resented her co-wife's seniority. Her envy of Kaushalya's arose, and her face flushed with anger. Kaikeyi at last declared, "O Manthara, you are right. I must somehow have Ram banished to the forest so my son can sit on the throne. But how can I accomplish this?" Manthara replied, "The means have already been given to you. If you have forgotten, I shall now remind you, provided you a promises to act." Kaikeyi solemnly promised to do whatever Manthara recommended. So her maid servant said, "O queen, do you remember the story you once related to me? Long ago, Maharaja Dasharath fought on the behalf of Indra against demons. When the demigods suffered defeat, your husband led an attack on Vijayanta. Vijayanta is the end of the victory. Now, I want you to pay attention because what we read in Srimad Bhagavatam is different and very different than what it says here in Valmiki Ramayana. And that is why I remind you that Shukadevji himself had said that The transcendental activities of Lord Ramachandra have been described by great saintly persons who have seen the truth. Means, look into the Valmiki Ramayana. He has already described the details. So, if you are looking for details, then you should be reading Valmiki Ramayana. But meanwhile, because you have heard again and again about Lord Ramchandra, the husband of Mother Sita, I shall describe these activities only in a brief. So whatever we were reading through Srimad Bhagavatam was just a brief description. There were no details. And now what I am reading are the details. Thank you. The Mataji is here and she is going to take care of the camera. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, Mataji.